the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an intermittent heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Hi, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. I am your announcer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street here in Chicago, Illinois, and also live on Facebook. If you would like more information, you can reach us at www.facebook.com/TomaNation2 or give us a call at 773-952-8302. Now I am going to recite our opening. In the name of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and the one who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aton, among the Hebrews as Ansal, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Odumare, Eshu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty Spirit, and it is to that essence which I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now I am going to recite 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1. We believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2. We believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3. We believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a black man. Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6, we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, we believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a now objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, vaccinations, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the black communities of America and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the black community of weapons, break up the black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Rahim Chesed Aton, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal property, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now we're going to recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Everyone put your right fist in the air and repeat after me. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it, oh flag of mine. Here's to the green of it, young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it, maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it, pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving him this great flag of mine. Please keep your right fist raised high in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem. Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I am your announcer for today, Sister Ebony Stevenson. Welcome to the Aton Nation's weekly Sunday worship service. That is worship, WARSHIP. We want to extend an invitation for you to join us here live in the Grand Crossing community of Chicago, Illinois at 616 East 71st Street. Come and be fed by God's messengers. And a thank you to everyone who joined us last Sunday in person for our 2023 Aton Nation Grand Opening. We had food, we had prizes and Black History trivia. We talked about the history of our organization and all the work that we've done since our founding in 1991. We had a lot of guests. We had live African drumming. We had spoken word. We had the sax preacher performing. And so it was an awesome and amazing, successful event. And we want to extend a thank you to everyone who made it possible. If you would still like to support us with a monetary donation on Cash App, if you missed our grand opening, you can send that to TOMANATION. Once again, that's TOMANATION. Or you can support us on Givelify at Temple of Mercy Association. Our only speaker for today is the founder of this great movement, Minister Rahim Aton, and he's going to bring you a wordy word today as we are in the month of Black History. And here at Aton Nation, we don't believe in just talking about what happened in the past. We believe in making Black history every day. And so the title of his lecture is Practicing Sankofa. Everyone stand to your feet and give a round of applause for our founder, Minister Rahim Aton. Original salute, Black power. Original salute, Black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people. Thank you.
In the name of the everlasting Father, also in the essence of the eternal divine Spirit, He who causes all that exists to exist, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, the one who made time, the seed of the universe, Known among the ancient Kemites as Amun Ra and Aton. Among the Hebrews as Anself, Yahweh, Elohim. Among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah. Among the Muslims as Allah, the one God. Among the Rastafarians is Jah, Rastafari. Among the Yoruba tribe is Olodumare, Obata, and many other Orisha gods. I bear witness that all of those names refer to the same one, Almighty God. And it is to that essence, that eternal divine essence, whom I submit. I greet you all in the ancient, yet holy words of peace in the languages of our fathers. Hotel.
My hotel.
Shalom.
Shalom alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Malaikum salam, sir.
Barakani.
Jim Asante, Barakani.
Alafia.
Alafia.
And Ashe.
Ashe.
All greeting words and salutations of peace in the languages of our fathers. We greet you in peace.
Peace.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Toma Nation, aka Temple Mercy Association. Two names interchangeably that basically mean the same, but yet it's a progression from one phase to the next, like believe and know. You start off believing until you know. We start off a Temple Mercy Association organization, and we evolve into a Toma Nation. So, I am Brother Minister Rahim Chesed, founder of this great movement, along with our co-founder, Brother Minister Omari Jahid, and our First Lady of this great movement, Sister, I'm going to say Sister Minister. You like to discuss this minister thing.
I do that too. I don't know where you're coming from.
But Sister Makita Aisha Aton, First Lady of this movement, my wife of 38 years. I think I have it right this time. I said 32 the last time. So anyway, and we are Temple Mercy Association, aka Toma Nation, and all inclusive, Black conscious yet righteous movement dedicated to the upliftment of Black people in North America. First, then around the world. This month is known as Black History Month. It was at one time called Negro History Week. So it means it evolved also to another level. Evolution is present in many stages of our lives. We just don't understand it to be evolution. Even when we transition from this level or state of existence that you all call death, is more of an evolution than death, because there's no such thing as death. Death, according to the dictionary, says it's the cessation, C-E-S-S-A-T-I-O-N, the cessation of life, meaning something stopped when it ceased to exist. But life never stops. Life is a continuum. So we actually don't die. There's a transitional process that takes place. And then that body or that vehicle becomes something for something else, even in its breaking down. It's continuing to move into different spectrums of life itself. So nothing really dies. And then if there is this spiritual body, it never dies. Never dies. So where is death? I believe whoever it was who created that name death, created a curse for us. Because the more we mouth it and the more we say it, the more it becomes what it is. The more it meets that definition in the dictionary. But if we start going to these, as you call them, homegoings, and start using the term transition instead of dead or death, I believe we can defeat that term. And that it won't exist anymore. Because in the beginning was the word, and it's the words that come out of our mouth that creates or destroys. So we got to be careful. A lot of times, what we say. So, Black History Month, which we know in Tomo is 365 days of the year. There's no one month that can confine all of that knowledge and all that information about us, because we forever finding out more and more and more and more. As a matter of fact, anything dealing with us is actually eternal. So you're never gonna say, I got it, because if you do, that's when you lost it. Because there's always some more to learn. And it's forever learning. And it's forever. It's, what would you call it? Infinity. Infinity. And so I want to mention something about this so-called Black History Month, and I'm saying so-called. Because I have to tell you about a few people who made history in our lives that we may not know about. And those who are on social media, you will soon come to know about some of these people who have made Black history. There's a famous man that I met by the name of Dr. Webb Evans. And Dr. Webb Evans used to say, we got to stop celebrating Black history and that we have to make Black history. And you know, a lot of times people talk. But you know, the Moors use a term called demonstrate. They say demonstrate. Don't just talk, demonstrate. And Webb, he demonstrates. He demonstrated. But he kept saying it continuously. Don't just continue to celebrate Black history. Make it. Make Black history, he said. Dr. Webb Evans was born in 1913. And we know 13 is the number of change. And so Webb Evans, he basically inserted himself into that month of February. Inserted himself to the fact that you cannot have Black History Month and not mention him. You can't. He made his transition, brothers and sisters, in 2015, February 23rd. So he demonstrated not just celebrating Black history, but making it. And he made it within that much time. And I believe that he knew exactly what he was doing, because I believe what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, that when you get to be a certain age, then you die when you get ready. I believe that. And so if you can die when you get ready, when you get to be a certain age, you can time when you're going to let go of this level of living to move into and transition into the other one. Now, I just interpreted it the way the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did. He said die. But you heard me say earlier, I don't believe we died. But when I quote someone, I'm going to quote it how they quoted it. So, Webb Evans kept saying to me all the time, he said, I'm going to get my reward. Those were his words. And he believed it with his whole heart that he was going to get a reward. But he was basically saying, I can't drive this vehicle there. I can't take this vehicle there. I got to leave this vehicle here to go and get my reward. And he called me to his house one day. He said, thank you, Minister, for all of those herbs and everything, and sending the herb doctor over and having him come and whatever. He said, but don't do that. I said, why, Dr. Evans? You know, you can stay here. I mean, you don't have to leave. He said, no. He said, I'm going to get my reward. You just make sure that the UBAPA continues. That's all. You just make sure. I said, okay. I won't bother you no more. So I stopped calling the herb doctors. I stopped getting people to come by there to give him a foot massage and all this and that. And he actually went on. Whatever the reward is, I don't know. But I guess I'll know one day. And we'll all know one day. But I know we can always honor him February 23rd. And I boast sometimes to say that we have a black man that was in our midst who made me the president and chairman of his organization, but he also made sure he won't be forgotten, period, in history, because he is the only one, past and present, that I know of, that he got it's set that you got to recognize him 4 times a year. Now that's making black history too. You got to recognize him 4 times a year. Let's look at it. All right? We making black history today. Y'all look him up, Dr. Webb Evans. You can Google him, and it'll give you the information all about this man, who when he made his transition, he was 101 years old on this level, on this planet. All right, 101. And in October, I'm going to start in October. In October is our annual banquet, the United Black American Progress Association, in which Dr. Webb Evans is the founder. We have a banquet in October. I can't start in October, can I? I have to start in May. In May. In the month of May, we have what you call a pre-Mother's Day celebration. So we got to talk about the UBAPA in the month of May, and we got to talk about Webb Evans. And then later on, in October, we got to talk about Webb Evans because that's the UBAPA's annual banquet. So now we're talking about Dr. Webb Evans again, as well as his organization. So May, and then October, June, and then in November, I'll back up. Then in November is his Earth Day. And God set it up to where I can't talk about me or him without talking about one or the other. Look how God did this. So now we got to talk about him again because he was born on November 20th. And I was born on November 20th. And so now if I'm going to recognize my day, I can't recognize mine without recognizing his because it's the exact same day. So here we are again, recognizing Dr. Webb Evans in November, but I forgot to. Now watch this. In August, the whole month of August, a state representative by the name of LaShawn Ford, State Rep LaShawn Ford, inspired by a brother by the name of Reverend Fellows, who happens to be, at this point in time, one of our spokespersons for Dr. Webb Evans. He talked to LaShawn Ford, the state rep, and LaShawn Ford wrote, or I don't know if he wrote it or what. Yeah, he did write it out. And I don't know if it's called a proposal. Resolution. Is it? Thank you. Help me out in the audience. He wrote a resolution and placed it before Illinois Congress, correct? General Assembly. General Assembly in Washington. No, not Washington. Springfield. In Springfield, Illinois. I'm getting it. And they accepted it. And what it was written for was that normally this month in August is called National Black Business Month. But now something's added to it. And what was added to it is that it would be called National Black Business Month in honor of Dr. Webb Evans. Now we gotta recognize him again in the whole month. And he shared, brothers and sisters, the stage. You know, that's that musical terminology. He shares the stage in August with the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, because that's also his month. So here we are now recognizing the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and we recognizing Dr. Webb Evans in August. Then here we are recognizing myself, Founders Day in November, but yet at the same time recognizing Dr. Webb Evans. Now, so when we talking about making history, we can't go forward and talk about making history and leave him out. You can't leave him out. It's impossible to leave him out. And so I had to start off with that. If we're going to talk about history and making Black history and somebody keeping someone's history alive, he made a good choice. Because there's hardly anybody out here that I know of besides the Honorable Elijah Muhammad who was able to find someone to keep his movement, his idea, his vision intact after he made his transition. And so I know of a Reverend Earl Sargent. Nobody's keeping his thing going, but nobody really knows that much about it. So we gotta know that it's almost a miracle to get someone to continue a movement, especially a grassroots movement, especially a nationalist movement that is talking about doing for self, that is talking about circulating the dollars among ourselves, that is talking about not just buying Black, but buying back the community in which you're living in. You don't find those movements continuing after the leader is gone. But this one continues. And I'm speaking of the United Black American Progress Association now, which we consider in the Toma Nation it to be a subsidiary of the Toma Nation at this point in time. And see, we can do that. So now I'm gonna stop there because see, in this Black history thing, we gotta understand something else. We gotta look at our condition as a people. And we got to, when we look at it, we got to ask the question, why are we still in this oppressed condition that we find ourselves in? We got to ask that question. Why are we still fighting for a place? Really not a place, our place in history. Why are we still fighting for our place in history? Matter of fact, what we're fighting for is not necessarily our place in history, but we're fighting to reestablish where we once were, but we once had a position that was once ours. This is nothing new. We're talking about reestablishing something. And see, right here in North America, is a bastion of Black people who the Temple of Mercy Association called the Lost 13 Tribe. Not necessarily lost, but we only use that terminology because of these tribes that everyone are under, which we are talking about the 12 tribes of the sons of Jacob. Well, why that tribe? Because in the Bible, it mentions them as a chosen people of God. And so if that is that chosen people of God, then we know the story of 12 sons, all right, that had wives, that had children, and all of these 12 sons were children somewhere connected to Abraham. Now, at this point in time, based on our teaching, that's just a small segment of people. That's not the whole world. That's not everybody, but this was just a center group here that they said this higher power had a special liking for. That he brought messengers and prophets and all through that bloodline. He sent into the world people born of a woman, but yet their goal and their mission was to expose the hate, the pain, the murder, the darkness of this world. They came through one of those 12 tribes. But then he sent it even deeper and zeroed in on one specific tribe in their group. And that one specific tribe was the tribe of Judah. And from that tribe came the likes of Solomon, who they say was the wisest man who ever lived, came a David, King David, all the way down to Yeshua, who you all call Jesus Christ. All the way down to Yeshua. So now we're looking at, all right, all of this we're talking about is found within 6,000 years. But even though when it talks about in the beginning, it's not really fully given the history of us as a people. Even though it's talking about in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But from what I've studied, that is minor to what really is. All of that, in his 6 days, he did all this creation, was basically all centered around 6,000 years. But yet the earth has been here trillions of years. My question was always, then what was going on in those trillions? If all we are aware of is 6,000. But yet archaeologists can dig up stuff and be saying 10,000 and 1 million and 2 million and 6 million and 7 and 8 million. Okay. Using your method of finding out what age something is takes you into the millions, but yet Earth has been here trillions. What was going on in trillions before this? That was the question. And I know it had to be something. And see, the Temple of Mercy, we work hard to bring truth to our people, not just to wake them up to be woke. You know, it's like you can wake up, but you don't get out the bed. So we ain't waking you up so you can just lay there. We wake you up to do a work. And what is that work we're supposed to be doing? What really, did God really truly, this creator, bring us into this world for sport and play? Ask yourself that question. I know the stupid bowl is going to be today. Is that right? It's coming on at 3 or 4. And everybody all happy because it's 2 black quarterbacks on each team. I was about to say something, but I ain't gonna mess up your show. Because I know y'all done bet it and y'all got money on it and went to the store and got your bid and all your other eats and y'all ready to get down with the stupid bowl. I hope y'all enjoy that stupid bowl. But according to what I read, it says that I didn't create this world for sport and play. If I were to create a pastime, I would have done it. So ask yourself, did the Creator bring you here to be a bus driver, a doctor, a fireman, some kind of tradesman, carpenter? Did he just birth you into this world for sport and play? To entertain? Was it something greater that we are here to do? Now, a lot of us die and never figure it out. But I want to read a little something to you. Because a lot of us have gotten caught up into this world so much that we cannot see, because we all into the things that we can see. We all fighting right now in a political arena, fighting for crumbs. There was a song called Cut the Cake. At one time we was fighting for a slice of the cake. One time we was fighting for a slice of the pie. But now we're fighting for crumbs. Crumbs that falls from, as they say in the Bible, the rich man's table. And then the excuse is, well, we need to be at the table, you know, because if we ain't at the table, we certainly on the menu. You get to the table and find you still on the menu. Matter of fact, you the main dish, because every part of you is valuable, dead or alive. Let's tell it like it is. Don't even matter. You black man, you black woman is valuable to the enemy, dead or alive. Now, in order for us to understand this, I'm going to read a little something about what was going on in between those millions and trillions of years. And I know my time is moving, that's why I'm going to slow it down a little bit and share with you some information. First, I want to speak on the 13 tribes so we can understand this. Why we call ourselves the lost 13 tribe born in North America, and that we are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. According to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in the year 1555, there was a Sir John Hawkins who bought the first slave ship filled with Africans to the shores of North America. The black man and woman in North America today are the descendants, and I'm speaking specifically of those descendants of black men and women who survived this transatlantic slave trade. We are the lost 13 tribe born here in North America. And we are saying that we know and we recognize that the Jews suffered a Holocaust of 6 million. But we know in our understanding in history that we suffered a hell of a cost of over 200 million. And that being the case, we had to wonder, why would this personage that we call God send us through all of that hell? And what we came up with was it was ordained by God. Now I'm using the word God, but you know, if you've been studying our lectures and our videos, when we say God, our interpretation of this God is not the Christian or the Islamic interpretation of God. But we'll get back into that. But we know that we were destined, all right, to be put under the most tremendous pressure that can be withstood by man. That's the term I use, destined. And it was the same type of pressure that you might, if you want to really visualize this, the same type of pressure that you will put on a lump of coal that transforms it into a diamond. And so that's what gave birth to this term, the lost 13 tribe, because 13 meaning change. And so this lump of coal called carbon over millions of years changes into a diamond. So now, we're saying, and we boldly proclaim this, that we are that lost 13 tribe. And our goal as this lost 13 tribe is to regain our rightful position on this planet. And what is that rightful position? In the Holy Quran, they call it Khalifa. In the Bible, they call it Vice Lord. In some other literature, they call it Landlord. But we say the owners of this planet. That is our position as a people. The owners of this planet. And everyone else was after us. And so, dealing with this type of change, what is that saying for us over here in North America? I'm saying that now we represent the same group of people that was chosen by God, who they called the children of Israel. Why? Because symbolically, today, if you look at us, we follow the same behavior patterns. And what is that behavior pattern? Stubborn, mule-like, easy to be led in the wrong direction, hard to be led in the right direction. Does that sound like us today? We look at the people who back then it said something like they would be sojourning in a land that was not their own for 400 some odd years. Does that sound like us? And when we say a land that's not our own, we got to really look at that statement too. Because the only reason at that time we could say that it was not our own is because when we came into that understanding, after being bought here from somewhere else, we figured it wasn't our land. But that didn't just come with, just some knowledge that we got when we woke up. No. We were told that it wasn't our land. When we came to our senses, it was some white folks beating on us, telling us who we were, making us not be who we knew we were to be, beating us down to be almost nothing. Then later on, we come to find out that that same cracker was not native to no part of this planet. That's what we come to find out. And then we found out that all over the earth itself, we are there. The whole planet. Even islands that they have not discovered yet, we are there. Elijah Muhammad said, we came with the earth. That means you will never be able to find our beginning. Never. But we got some information that will tell you about the first trillion years. At the very beginning of that 78 trillion. The first trillion years. Activity that was going on this planet by black beings. Made in the image of God. That looked like you and I. Who knew and know that this day would come, 2023. Who knew and know that there was a final evolution that had to be made, and it was going to be made with a people who was put under tremendous pressure and survived it. And wasn't traumatized to the fact that we went crazy as a result of it. Some of us say try to the deepest level of festivity that you can be taken to. Y'all ever heard that before? And survived. And so, here we are today as vicegerent of the planet Earth. And number 13 is everywhere. Everywhere that we go. And now today they're talking about, I told you all before that they was opening up this thing about UFOs because they knew, see, this white devil is so diabolical. They already knew that there were some other planes or ships out in space. And they figured, well, since we're going to know about it soon enough, we need to go ahead of them so we can interpret what this is. So we're going to tell them, we're going to open up all the records and let everybody know now what this is out there in the sky. But they were saying, we're going to define that for them. And so the first thing they do, they cast first. And so they go televise these balloons and funny looking vehicles all in the sky and gonna try to say that these are our extraterrestrials and the ones that we are fighting and this and that. Some bull crap that we already know just because we study the word where it says Satan cast first. Something that simple, y'all. If you know the strategy, you can't be tricked. We know the technology of our forefathers and our current fathers and the vehicles that they create. We know what speed they move at, and the type of speed they move at, these little missiles can't hit it. They don't turn corners. These planes we talk about don't turn corners. Man. They make angles. They don't turn corners. They go like this, and like this, and like that, and like that. Right? They don't do this, turning corners. Now that's the technology of your world, Mr. White Man. And yet now, you thought that you could fool people of God. But I'm here to expose that bull crap that you got, that you putting on the news every day. Because I already know what's going down. I can't go there yet. I'm supposed to stick to the script. And I'm about to go somewhere. Y'all just got to come to my meeting on Wednesday to hear me go a little bit deeper into that. I'm talking about Black history right now and making Black history. I want to talk to you now, moving into something. I said I was going to read it. I'm going to read it right now. It's from a book called Black Root Science that one of our youth ministers brought to my attention. I'm going to read a little bit. It says our Earth and our solar system were created 78 trillion years. 78 trillion. Now remember, I read to you something that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. I'm going to read his first before I read this. I got a lot of stuff to put out. It says here, if you're open to the information that was given to the Black man by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, your brain capacity would be expanded to receive more information, and you'll be able to put it in the right space of time. That means that all of what the white man says about how much the brain can hold and how much of it we use was only based on his limited level of understanding. And so he taught us in his schools and thinking that thinking that we're learning something, but we're being diminished in our learning by learning his method, by learning his way, by learning how he tells us the equation is and coming to a conclusion. If those people that man those ships that are ours was using his math, they wouldn't be able to do what I just told you. So now, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he says, he says, the earth is 66 trillion years old. The sun is 72 trillion years old. And the universe is 76 trillion years old. The Black man and woman came with the earth. Right? We weren't ever taught to think another way here in America until the Honorable Elijah Muhammad introduced his actual facts. And that teaches that a new book is written by these 24 elders or 24 scientists every 25,000 years. So we say, now how many 25,000 year cycles are there in 66 trillion years? The more you break down the math, the better you're able to see into the trillions. Now this white man can't see into the trillions. That's why he can't tell you anything beyond a few minutes. Because his mind draws a blank when he go into trillions. He can't see it. See? And somewhere, when we deal with those cycles, he mentions that the world resets, not the world, the universe resets itself every 25,000 years. And my thing is this, then why do the black man and woman argue over trivia things? About who stole this knowledge, who stole that knowledge. Oh, it was stolen from this person. It was stolen from that person. Well, let's get to the first person. Who did he steal it from? Where did his inspiration come from? And the one that gave him that inspiration, did he give it to him and say, don't steal it? The Temple of Mercy is set up to everything that ever worked since the time they brought us into captivity. In our teachings and what we teach, and in our studies and what we study, we take from it those things that worked. I'm saying this publicly. Yes, we do. If it worked, we used it.
That's right.
All the things that work, we use it. Why? Because we're not made, or this movement was not created to create a whole nother wheel or reinvent another wheel, but it was created to add to that wheel, to make it new and improved. Y'all ever heard that? And the way to do that is to not throw away the stuff that worked, but look for the things that worked, separated from the things that didn't work. And that's how we came up with point number one, that we are not to repeat the mistakes. How are you not going to repeat mistakes you don't know they made? You have to study them. And that's how Temple of Mercy came up with our prescribed readings, which allowed us to go into the different religions and the different persuasions and the different cultures of black people, looking at what they taught, studying what they said, and relating it to our condition right now, relating it to what we're dealing with right now, that we might, in this day and time, have a chance to overcome. So now, Yahweh Elijah Muhammad mentioned that, so we're looking at these cycles every 25,000 years, playing itself out, the same scenarios, using different people. So nobody can steal from ancient Kemet. It was set up for us to know it and to learn it. So now taking from this part I just read, of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in 1961, just taking from that and moving into something else we studied. Now check it out. Now do this matter. You know how we argue. Yahweh Elijah Muhammad ended with 76 trillion years dealing with the universe. But this brother here says 78. Now we could spend days arguing. Little minute niggers and niggerettes who ain't been here no time at all, and we talking about 78 trillion, 76 trillion, and we fighting over something. Instead of trying to find this happy medium so we can go forward. What is a happy medium? The happy medium is 76, 77, 78. The distance of 3 trillion, right? From 76 to 78. On earth, we would shut up if somebody gave us $1 trillion, wouldn't we? Will we fight them because they owed us 2 more? I don't think so. I think we would take that trillion and make it 2 trillion, and 3 trillion, and 4. But we fight over petty things. We fight over a certain religion. We fight over saying, Well, if all what's in ancient Kemet in the mystery schools was taught back then, and it was way before the Bible, then why should we be still in this Bible and all this and that? That's stolen. They stole it from him. They stole it from Imhotep. They stole it from this person. Yet we still in this condition. Yet we still hanging on for dear life as a people. Yet we still sitting comfortable in a house ran by the enemy. And we trying to go along to get along. And we're trying to adjust ourselves to be accepted in our own house by some thieves who came and took it over. Did you hear me? I said we're trying to be accepted by them in our house. Somebody broke in your house and says you ain't got to move. You stay right here. But it's going to go my way now. Here's my new rules. You can't go to the bathroom at this time. And you can't knock on my door at that time. If you leave, you can't come in until a certain time. If you want the master bedroom, you got to do all this and do all that. Oh, so y'all really want some equal opportunity? We'll build another wing to the house. That'll be y'all wing. Y'all can stay over there. And do all what you want to do. But you got to make sure you come to me to get approval.
Call it together.
Huh?
We're going to call that wing together.
The ghetto. Anything you want to do, you got to come and let me know so I can give you approval. Without my approval, it's not going to last. We're going to tear it down. And if you're teaching anything else than what we taught you that you was teaching in this house before I got here, we kicking you out. That's what we did. And we settled. And we learned how to get along in that house. And we learned how not to cross a certain line. And we learned how to be quiet if we want to talk about the ones who took over our house. We learned how to whisper. And some of us learned how to get close to the person that took over our house. And they know how they do it. Well, one of us was talking about you last night. Man, they tore his ammunition. And said that they tired of living like this. And that there's other spaces and places that you keeping from us, Master, besides being here. And who might that be? You know, the rest is his story. So let me read. I got to read this. This is for y'all. Toma already knew this because we read it before. So now, let's fill that space up. Our earth is, this earth in the solar system was created 78 trillion years ago. And as soon as this earth was ready, brothers and sisters, 144,000 ancestors came from another star system, the star called Sirius. Now, in Toma, we are taught that some beings were created by who we call the great mind. A mind so great that it encompasses the whole universes and all the other universes. And the only thing keeping it intact, the only thing that's keeping it together is the thoughts of one that not Germans, but Greeks called thought. And this great mind, in its infinite wisdom, took the dark matter of space, basically a part of its own mind, and created vehicles in his image: arms, legs, head, ears, eyes, nose, lips, feet, hands. Not that he had all of that, but the image that he imagined that it should be. And when he created them beings, he had to place them somewhere. I'm speaking before Sirius, brothers and sisters. So we'll get back to getting to Sirius in a minute, and I'm serious. So now, these beings were placed on a planet in the 19th galaxy. We'll go there later. And they had to get themselves together because this great mind put a blueprint in their head. And so they got together and they had to find a workstation. They went to Sirius to get closer to their workstation. And on Sirius, they played the plan over and over and over again. The whole blueprint of what life is supposed to be and look like. So they set up a headquarters or a station on Mars. And from Mars, they went to work on planet Earth. Now that's my part of filling in the blanks. Now let's read. These 144,000 ancestors came from Sirius. They inhabited the Earth. After preparing it by seeding it with plant and animal life. After about 7,000 years. See, y'all know it was two things that came from their planet to this planet. I don't know if y'all knew that. One was this thing called an amoeba. That's not from Earth. That's from their planet. And the other thing was a whale. Not the dolphin, not the other ones, but the whale itself. It's not from Earth. We'll go there at a later date. Moving on. After 7,000 years, about 7,000 years, after about 7,000 years since their arrival, understand now we're back at one. And 7,000 years from that one, when they arrived, all right, their population increased from 144,000 to 1,008,000,000. So when they first arrived, 144,000 of them, after 7,000 years, their population increased to 1,008,000,000. And that number became the most sacred number in creation. It is the total number of original people who inhabited the first earth of our universe countless trillions of years ago. Now, I said and still say that there was another world before in the beginning. Well, now you're beginning to hear of this other races of black people who inhabited the earth before in the beginning. You can't replenish something unless it was plentiful at first. He said replenish the earth. It can't be void and without substance and darkness being on the face of it unless it came from something that flourished. Y'all get it? So now we're going to before in the beginning. Every earth, and they call it the first earth of our universe, trillions of years ago. And then every earth inhabited thereafter keeps this number, 1,008,000,000, as their final and stable population on earth. Now you would say, well, Brother Minister, it's more than that on earth right now. Well, this is based on 1,008,000,000 black people on the planet. And I'm even led to believe 1,008,000,000 of the lost 13 tribes. But I might be stretching it a little bit. But if you connect the two blacks on the planet, you can see that the overpopulation ain't caused by us. It's caused by the other races other than us that got it overpopulated, not us. Can't be us. It was determined to be the ideal number of people that can inhabit a planet the size of Earth. in complete comfort without imposing on each other or imposing on the natural resources, as well as the animals and the plants. That enables complete freedom of movement for all life on the planet. And this is essential for peace, prosperity, and spiritual growth. The reason why the number is specifically 1,000,000,008,000,000, well, we'll go into other sections of the book for that. This first earth was created by that 1,000,008,000,000 original gods from the stars of the previous universe. They existed in that previous universe. Now watch this. In other words, I said that it was something before in the beginning, right? But yet you just heard that what I just read still wasn't the first one. That they came from a whole nother universe. So now we're dealing with 3 dimensions here. So that means it must be some sort of setup that's never ending pattern here of time and space. But yet, one final evolution of a race of people who are supposed to become the epitome of the representative of the image that this great mind chose to live in. Did y'all hear me? From human being, brothers and sisters, to supreme being. Man, black man, supreme being. That's the final evolution for us as a people. Do you know that leaves out a lot of people who understand that? That's another reason they're mad. That's another reason they don't want us to know this. That's another reason that jealousy exists throughout the world concerning us. Even the Africans jealous of us. I'm just telling it like it is. Native Americans jealous of us. The lost 13 tribe. They don't want us to make that evolution. They cannot make that evolution. But it is in us to make that evolution. The sighting of most of these ships are being seen in the United States of America, protecting us so we can make our transition. Now, I started at the beginning saying transition, didn't I? So we got to get away from that term called death. My time is moving. So I'm going to have to just read my underlined stuff here. So they had existed in that previous universe, another universe, all the way toward the end of it, along with, at that time, trillions upon trillions of countless people. They were in a state of mind called divine unity. Come on, where they came from. Or the oneness of God. Showing you again how Toma had already been talking about the oneness of God. How Toma had already been talking about unity and one. How even Marcus Garvey was saying one God, one aim, one purpose. The oneness of God. That is something the black man and woman from the lost 13 tribe has been trying to reach from the day that each one of us is born. It is in our DNA to seek the oneness of things. Why? Because we came from one. We came from one. One mind, not one God. One thought. And then spread out. So it's a state of mind where all the people in the universe, not just on earth, unite as one. This one is God and truth. All right? The experience when these trillions upon trillions of people at the end of that previous universe, were united as one, they experienced an indescribable expansion of their minds. Do you understand why this white man don't want us to unite? Because this expansion of our minds will surely it would overrush them. It says, which were one mind. It expanded to such an extent that it not only circumscribed their entire universe, but it exceeded the boundaries of the universe. It's one mind. So now it ain't about us brothers and sisters connecting and being one with just each other here in the United States of America, but somebody is trying to hint to us that there are other beings, black beings like you and I on other planets, that we have the ability with knowing that thought travels at 24 billion miles per second, that we can connect and unite with other beings, black beings just like us on other planets. They don't want you to know that. So they keep you separated in little bits and pieces right here on planet Earth. Black women against black men. Millennial tribe against baby boomers. Playing these games with us because they know that once we unite with our minds, that it's over for them. It's all over. Man, say I searched all over. Couldn't find nobody. I searched high and low. I still couldn't find nobody. Fool, all you had to do was look within. You'd have found it. Oh, ain't that deep? You see, you gotta really understand what we're dealing with. It's just having that knowledge and the oneness of that knowledge and knowing who you really are, that you were the chosen vehicle, chosen by the great mind to make that transition. Now you would have a reason to stay here. You would have a reason to eat right, to drink right, to think right, so that your body can be around long enough to make that transition. You don't want a premature transition. Look at the caterpillar. What if he had a premature transition? He'd be dead, wouldn't he? Time is going, boy. So they experienced this indescribable expansion. It exceeded boundaries by an immeasurable extent. This one mind, that's what you call God when our minds become one, became so larger than the previous universe that they were in. It became so large that that universe could no longer contain it. All right? So it felt the need for a larger universe in which the experience of life will continue. And that's how it created the other universe. Before, in the beginning. In the beginning was the third one. Not the second one. In the beginning was the third one. Did y'all hear me? The third one. The third earth, the third universe. And it says, the trillions and trillions of people still united as one. Then they decided to abandon that universe. They consciously left their perfected bodies and rose in their mind far above the universe. They then looked down. See, they ain't in no bodies. I was telling you all before, there was a time we could see and we didn't need nobody to see. There was a time we could hear and we didn't need no ears. There was a time we could speak and we didn't need no vocal cords. Brothers and sisters, you can get all of that back. First, you got to believe it before you can know it. That's the hard part, getting us to believe it. so many doggone superhero movies and superhero books out that it's hard to believe it. But it ain't hard for this white man to believe it, because he believes it. Let me read something quickly. Again, I know I got a lot to read, and I got to read this part here. Melanin. I'm talking black, y'all. A biochemical substance that drives the physical, the mental, and emotional, and the spiritual side of life. It's a natural, brothers and sisters, chemical that makes black people's skin black. A natural chemical, chemical, chemistry, all that's black, y'all. It's present in our bodies, our skin, our cells, our nerves, our brain, our muscles, our bones, our reproductive and digestive systems, all other bodily functions. They're present in a higher amount than all other races. It appears as black because it absorbs all colors. Once the color enters melanin, it cannot escape. Melanin is concentrated colors. It's a cellular black hole, similar to the black holes in space. Meaning all inside of it is the sun, the moon, the stars. All of that is in that melanin. All of that is what the Creator took to make up who He was and is. As a melanated mind, you cannot know thyself unless you know melanin. If you allow Caucasian intellectuals and experts to persuade you that your melanin is a useless accessory, then you will inevitably fall into a sunken place of hopelessness, powerlessness, and disconnectedness. Your blackness, brothers and sisters, is literally your power. I'm just hitting certain points. Melanin is overwhelmingly comprised of carbon, which is the basic key element found in all living things. Brothers and sisters, I'm trying to help us real quick. Now, the mind being attached to the body, it can extend beyond the outer reaches of space. I said that, didn't I? Even expand infinitely. All right? But a magnetic attraction attaches it to a physical body. The magnetic attraction dissipates at death. And then we're at that transition. See, everybody say death. I believe I'm the only one probably that don't want us to use the term death anymore. They came up with this knowledge of, after reading so much, that nothing ever dies. And that we keep death alive. I know that sounds weird, don't it? We keep the notion of death alive by constantly saying the word.
And saying good morning.
But we keep ourselves in darkness and depression by saying good morning. 5 minutes. I'm glad. I don't know if I should go by your hand or that clock, because it only gave me 4.
You can't see the second person.
I'm going to take your 5, though. Forget the clock. I want that extra minute. All right. The unified mind of the people who were as one person. See, and that's why you say God. When all them billions and trillions of minds became one, that was God. Now understand the power that Elijah Muhammad talking about. When he said our unity is more powerful than the atom bomb. What is he saying? If we just notice right here, this man's talking about some power that we had uniting with the minds of those on other planets, harnessing the thought of 24 billion miles per second. Harnessing it. It ain't giving nobody in this room a headache by me saying this, because we can see it. And we harness that power, and then here comes Elijah Muhammad saying that our unity is as powerful as an atom bomb. Just by him even saying atoms, it's showing you our connection to the universe. While in this same book, it talks about atoms. And that each one of those atoms is a mini universe within itself. And you talking about an atom bomb also? And our unity? Brothers and sisters, they got to try to keep us apart. They got to try to keep us arguing and fighting. If you never heard Black history before, you're hearing it now. Because I'm not taking you back to no Africa. I'm taking you back to the very beginning of day one of 78 trillion years. Let me read. A few minutes. So they were as one person. As this person was contemplating the universal spheres, they saw that it was adequate for inhabitation as a new earth, with all the stars being its atoms. I got to go somewhere. I got to go somewhere. Got a few minutes. Got to go somewhere, y'all. The universe. Hey, let's look at this, y'all, because you got to see this. If you've ever been far away from the city and you see those lights at night, you'll know that when you look at the starry sky on a clear, dark night, we see countless of stars covering every inch of the sky. But when we look at the sky above the earth, we see a vast emptiness between our earth and the nearest neighboring star. If we let our mind think about this, we realize that even though the stars seem close to each other, far, far up in the sky, they cannot really be that close together. If they were, we would see stars in our own sky above us as close as we see the moon. The truth is, the nearest star to our sun is about 32 trillion miles away. Now we're talking about seeing 24 billion miles per second. Still, we ain't caught up with 32 trillion, have we? But yet, our thoughts at 24 billion miles per second, only on Earth going around in circles and circles and circles, you can see why so much confusion. Because we trap ourselves in that box that the white man placed us in. Come up out of that box, you free not your body, you free your mind. When you come out of that box, and everything you do and everything you say is going to be unorthodox, not crazy, but unorthodox. Crazy don't work. Unorthodox does. I don't know if y'all got me. The nearest star to our sun is 32 trillion miles away. The sky, like our sun, separated from its nearest neighbor by about the same distance of 32 trillion miles. Our mind concludes that the earth is a mini universe. Its stars are the atoms that make it up. Here's the cycle of creation. We start with electrons, the atoms, then the earth, other planets, then the solar system and other star systems, then the universe. That's going from bottom to top, the smallest to the largest, the beginning to the end. Right? The space between each star, brothers and sisters, you can fit 4,000 star systems in that space of 32 trillion miles. Brothers and sisters, I said the distance between one star and another is 32 trillion miles, and that you can fit 4,000 star systems in that space between each star. I hope y'all can feel it. This is Black history. That being the case now, and you can fit 4,000. See, they made this new telescope, and they looked out into the space, and you saw all them colors like crystals. See, that's how you know all the colors come from black. That's how you know you got all these different crystals and star systems. I got to close out. So now, here we are, knowing all of that, and they found a little space, a little gap that was dark, and they shot the telescope in that direction, and it went in there, and it even saw now that there are thousands and millions more galaxies and universes in that little space. Brothers and sisters, the expansion of our minds and us being gods It's not limited at all. And you can hold it without going crazy. If you just can understand the recipe the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us to expand our mind. And you don't go crazy either. I'm gonna let you all go. But don't be fooled by those little spaceships that the government's all working together to shoot all out the sky, playing games with our imagination. The real one, you can't shoot it down. I leave you. Peace, hotel, shalom, assalamu alaikum, barakatuh, alafi, and ashe.
Greetings. I hope you enjoyed our lecture for today from our founder, Mr. Rahim Aton, practicing Sankofa. It was an unorthodox lecture about Black history, talking about what happened with us as a people before in the beginning. If you would like more information and would like to join us in person, please feel free to join us next Sunday right here at 616 East 71st Street in Chicago, Illinois. If you would like to support our grassroots movement through a monetary donation, you can donate to us on Cash App at TOMANATION. Once again, that's TOMANATION. Thank you so much. Please feel free to like this video and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, peace.
That's it. In the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power!